All right. Hello, everyone. I've been trying to put this video together for a little while. I've been getting a lot of questions about the end times and specifically when the timing of the rapture is going to be. So just want to put this together, give a quick sermon on what the Bible says about this and my take on it. So to start, I want to say that there are three main views. Of course, there are some smaller views, and within each view, there's also different takes. So the three main views are the pre-tribulation rapture, the mid-tribulation rapture, which is right at the time the Antichrist is going to break the treaty, and then the post-tribulation rapture. So this is right after the sixth seal, before the start of the trumpets and the vials. Now, there are, like I said, others, but I'll just be covering those main three. First, I wanted to get into the topic of the pastors. Now, the reason why there's such a big spread on this is because the pastors differ greatly on this issue. The pre-tribulation believers, there's 36% of pastors that believe the pre-tribulation rapture. 25% believe that the rapture is not to be taken literally. 18% believe in post-trib, 4% in mid-trib, 4% are pre-wrath, which kind of goes together with post-trib. 1% are preterists, and 8% are none. 4% said they're not sure. So a lot of different variation in teachings. This is kind of surprising. But first, I want to get into the fact that there are many differences of opinion, like we just saw. Many of these are complex, very complex theories, and they have holes and contradictions, not just within with the other doctrines. They have these contradictions and holes within themselves. They don't quite match up. And that's because most of these depend solely on eisegesis. Eisegesis is the practice of reading into one's text the meaning that you want. It's basically reading into what you want to hear into the text. This is in contrast to exegesis. Exegesis is the process of letting the text read to you. The meaning, the natural meaning that derives from the text is acquired through exegesis. Eisegesis, you want an answer and you're trying to pull it out of it. This is why there's so much different variation, is because a lot of pastors are going through eisegesis. They're looking for answers that they want to hear, and specifically what their congregations want to hear. Remember 2 Timothy 4, itching ears? Itching ears? Yeah. Thankfully, Jesus' word gives us all we need to fulfill this command. Remember, in Matthew 24, he tells us to make sure that we are not deceived. And in order to make sure we are not deceived, he tells us exactly what's going to happen. He gives us the means to not be deceived. This is one of the reasons why I don't understand why there's so much variation. If you just pick up the text and you read it, it just comes to you. Now, one person that picked up on this was Reverend J. Hurd. He said, the way to discovery still lies open to us in divine things if we have only the moral courage to go to the fountainhead of truth, instead of filling our vessel out of this or that doctor's compendium of truth. This is basically the crux of the matter. People are going in and they want to hear things. It's the itching ears. And they're filling their vessel with the specific truths, quote unquote, that they want to hear. Now, I'm not going to go into what the doctrines are. I'm just going to deliver you the message straight from Jesus. You'll be able to tell, once I get to the end of this, when the rapture is going to happen in relation to the 70th week, and what must happen first. So I'm beginning, this is Matthew 24, verse 3. the NASB. And as he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "See to it that no one misleads you. For many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and they will mislead many people. And you will be hearing of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for these things must take place. But that is not yet the end. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. But all these things are merely the beginning of birth pains. Then they will hand you over to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. And at that time many will fall away, and they will betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will rise up and mislead many people. And because lawlessness is increased, most people's love will become cold. But the one who endures to the end is the one who will be saved. This gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all the nations, and then the end will come. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, which was spoken of through Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then those who are in Judea must flee to the mountains. Whoever is on the housetop must not go down to get things out of his house, and whoever is in the field must not turn back to get his cloak. But woe to those women who are pregnant, and to those who are nursing babies in those days. Moreover, pray that when you flee, it will not be in the winter or on a Sabbath. For then there will be a great tribulation, such as not occurred since the beginning of the world until now, nor ever will again. And if those days had not been cut short, no life would have been saved. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. Then, if anyone says to you, 'Behold, there is the Christ,' or 'He is over here,' do not believe him. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and will provide great signs and wonders, so as to mislead, if possible, even the elect. Behold, I have told you in advance. So if they say to you, 'Behold, he is in the wilderness,' do not go out. Or behold, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe them. For just as the lightning comes from the east and flashes as far as the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be. Wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. But immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the sky with power and great glory. And he will send forth his angels with a great trumpet blast, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the sky to the other. Now learn the parable from the fig tree. As soon as its branches become tender and sprouts its leaves, you know that summer is near. So you too, when you see all these things, recognize that he is near, right at the door. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But about that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father alone. For the coming of the Son of Man will be just like the days of Noah. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark. And they did not understand until the flood came and took them all away. So will the coming of the Son of Man be. At that time there will be two men in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. Two women will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken and one will be left. That's the rapture. We see it mentioned right there, chapter 24, verse 31, and then it's repeated, Matthew 40 and 41, or Matthew 24, verse 40 and 41. This comes after the abomination of desolation. That's that midpoint where the Antichrist defiles the temple. That's in Daniel. And it also comes after the tribulation of those days, after the sun and the moon go dark. Notice this resembles the sixth seal in Revelation 6:12. After the tribulation. This is before the trumpets and the vials, the time of God's wrath. But after the tribulation, Matthew 24:29. Jesus made it very simple for us. Very simple. If we just listen to his word, this is when the tribulation happens. So, love you guys. Take care.